Hey, and we're back for another fun-filled episode of Pop Goes the Zebra. Jeremy the Ref, as always, joined by Jesse the Ref. Jesse, how you doing, my man?
I'm all right. Trying to kind of recover from having COVID and all that fun jazz.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, have you grown any extra appendages? Are you able to freeze time? Did you get any superpowers whatsoever?
Uh, I can get winded a lot faster now. As it turns out, it completely takes your breath away.
Take my breath away.
It's like Q
Sorry.
Berlin. Yeah. No, I worked
Yeah.
I worked New South last night, and yeah, turns out it does not take much for me to be completely winded right now. So
All it took for
I'm
me was just eating like a fat piece of shit and not exercising like I used to. That's all it took for me.
I mean, typically that's my problem, but I can get through an entire match. I have to do like several matches before I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I was about 5 minutes into that first match, which was a tag match, and I was just like, I was like, oh, this sucks. So
I, I hide it by not doing as much anymore in the ring.
yeah,
I stopped moving if I didn't have to move,
yeah.
which is
Well, I
just
mean,
good general advice for a referee, anyways. Like, stop dancing in the background. Nobody's here to see you two step. I promise.
I'm a little different in that, as the referee should be moving around to get a better vantage point of what he's trying to see.
Well,
Now,
I'm speaking more, doing everything
for
and anything you can to make sure you're moving at all times, unnecessarily, to make sure people's
yeah,
eyes are
that's
wandering away from the boys to you because
yeah,
you're a mark and don't want the focus on the match. You want it on yourself is more what I'm talking about.
yeah, and that makes sense. Like we do know quite a lot of people who do that, and then you know we know a lot of people who were just anchored to a corner. So
Sure.
it kind of is what it is. I try to stay in between with it. It's more or less just trying to make sure that I'm out of the way and I'm not blocking any cameras. That's pretty much it.
Bingo.
So
So speaking of refereeing and all that stuff, we had alluded to it in the last episode, and then it happened. We had Warrior Wrestling in South Bend, Indiana, which you and I were both a part of. How did you like your first go around with Warrior Wrestling? How was your weekend in general? And how quickly are you trying to put a Shoops up down there in Tennessee by you?
well, we'll go in succession with those. The venue that we were at was absolutely incredible. I really loved that building. It was for me, that was perfect for a studio style wrestling show. That crowd was electric from pretty much the word
Word
go.
go, yeah.
I don't think they calmed down like a little bit, but pretty much every match you could just hear them.
It was
It
palpable.
was it was great. I the moment that stands out to me was being in the locker room, and after the Lucha Scramble, Will Ospreay comes into the locker room saying, "Sorry guys, that's it. We can't follow that." Like, coming from him, that kind of told me, it was like, all right, boys, like our night just got way harder because we got to top whatever just happened out there. It man, and I think every match in its own right brought the intensity. Um, I know Myron Reed and Casey Navarro did, because I was out there trying to keep up with those guys. It was awesome, man. The atmosphere of the locker room too. It was kind of one of those, like, I didn't know a whole lot of people there, but it was really nice because everybody was super friendly. It was a good environment to be in. It was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away by that night. I was very impressed with the upgrades on the building. It had been a while since I've been there, And I walked in there and just went, whoa. So like I knew we were kind of in the we were kind of already on the right path when I walked in, and I saw that and I heard what the pre-sale was already. I was like, oh, this is in the bag, and it was in the bag.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't like to say that because that's just asking for fate to intervene, but it was in the bag pretty much from the second I found out those two things. I knew it. This one was in the bag.
yeah, it was like I said, walking in, I kind of looked down, I was like, wow. Like I was impressed with the venue, the building itself, and then of course I was with you whenever we heard the pre-sale, and I was like, are all those people going to fit in here? Like I was like, there's no like floor seating, so like we can't put any chairs out. Like, are we gonna have to turn people away from this show? Like, and it was, man, that room was every bit of full because the energy, you could feel it. Like they didn't have to do anything, but you could just feel the energy.
Kind of had a Colosseum feel, Roman Colosseum feel to it.
It really did.
Yeah.
Because I love being able to look out of the ring and look up and just see a wall of people in front of me and beside me. It's very rare for independent wrestling to have that kind of feel, being in something like a Coliseum or like a dome, where you just look and see just a wall of humanity. It's, man, I want to go back to that venue. That was a sweet venue. But I know you guys tend to run some pretty stellar buildings.
Yeah, I'm confident in saying we will be back to the Bendix Arena in South Bend, Indiana again. And if you want to catch that amazing show, it's available right now for replay on Fight TV. And I'm sure at some point in the near future will also be available on other streaming platforms. But as you alluded to, we do run some pretty interesting buildings, and the next building we're going to run, we're getting right back to it here next Saturday. Actually, it's going to be the Saturday after this episode drops. Easy for me to say. And February 12th, we're going to be in the illustrious, legendary, amazing Cicero Stadium in Cicero, Illinois, in the grand scheme of things, right down the road from Chicago, Illinois, the Chicago IL, the IL. And if you haven't heard about that show by now, you've been living under a rock. But just in case you've been living under a rock, I'm going to hit you with two of the big matches right off the bat, just so you understand when we say we mean business. Brother, that's not a catchphrase. The Briscoes are going to take on the Workhorsemen. And if that's not enough right off the bat to get your ears tickling, how about this? Athena is going to take on Thunder Rosa for the women's championship in the main event. So
yeah,
if you haven't gotten your tickets already and you're just kind of going, I've heard about Warrior, but I've never been there. Brother, get off your tuchus, get your card out, get your phone out, put those digits in, because you need to see this show. I'm not blowing smoke up your nose because I'm not a smoker. Go see this show. It's going to be amazing. And if you can't make it, I understand it's wintertime. COVID's a thing. Tax season still a thing. It's going to be available as always on Fight TV. So if you can't make it, tune in because it's going to be epic. And if that's not big enough news, we're also going to be debuting in yet another new city this year. The following month, we are going down to Indianapolis, Indiana, the capital of the great state of Indiana, and we're going to tear it down there. I've only heard rumors so far, so I can't really tell you what's going to happen, but I've heard some rumors, and it's going to be big. So got a whole lot of stuff going on for Warrior Wrestling.
Man, Indy's a great town.
I've worked there twice.
Yeah, that's Collective. That was the first time I worked up there.
The last time was the Collective. The first time was for my first Devolve show. So that was pretty dope. Good crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, it seems like Indiana in general, Indiana, Illinois, both states really tend to have solid wrestling crowds, especially like, I mean, if it's close enough for people to drive from Chicago and places like that, then you know they're going to turn up.
Oh yeah,
And
Indianapolis is, in my opinion, wide open for a company like Warrior to come in and really show up and show out and just show what they're all about. Wow, I just dropped a rhyme. That doesn't happen all the time. God damn it. Anyway. So yeah, we've got a whole busy plate, whole mess of insanity coming up for us. But Jesse, take me back to the Bendix Arena in South Bend, Indiana. I just love throwing that all out there at once. Take me back to that. How did you enjoy being in there? I know you were in there with some guys you'd never really officiated for. What was your impression coming out of that?
uh, it was kind of one of those where I wasn't sure how to handle things because always going to a new place, I try to be very, very careful with what I do, what I say, things like that. I try because I have the ability to be a very over the top referee or a very straight laced referee, just kind of feeling out what's needed. And the first match that I did, I had no choice but to match the intensity with Casey Navarro and Myron Reed. God, man, those guys brought it. I'd worked with Myron, I think two or three times before that, so I was very familiar with what he was going to do and things like that. First time I'd worked with Casey, it was great. Really got the heart rate going for that one, and then I did Anthony Green and Tom Lawler, which
you didn't work with Anthony Green. I love me some Anthony Green, but he wasn't on the show. Anthony
Henry. There's man, it's been a long couple days.
It's COVID.
Yeah,
that brain fog.
Anthony Henry. Working with him and Lawler. Never worked with either one of them, and it was cool. Just being able to pop off of both entrance themes.
Oh, dude, me. I was mid conversation in the locker room. And No Easy Way Out I'm wanting to say it was Survivor, but I know I'm wrong. But No Easy Way Out from Rocky IV plays. There's no easy way out. That one. And like I had to go check that out. And then freaking Tom Lawler comes out and does his deal. And as you said, it was literally the battle of who had the better entrance.
Yeah. It got a solid pop out of me, and I remember in the ring I looked over at Anthony when Lawler was doing his little back and forth. Me and Anthony were just like, "Oh yeah, this is great."
And it's coupled by the fact that Lawler comes out in those Daisy Dukes. Man, I pop for those Daisy Dukes so freaking hard. They're hilarious.
If anybody can pull it off, it's either him or Tony Deppen.
Lawler's got the better legs. Sorry, Mr. Deppen.
Yeah, that's true.
Lawler's got those thighs, brah.
He does. And again, that match brought a different kind of intensity. It wasn't so much a showcase of, high crazy action. It was more or less like, how hard can I hit you and how hard can you hit me back? And it was Lawler opened Anthony's chest up with a chop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the kind of intensity I'm talking about. Like, these guys went out there and just slugged it out. And it was to the point where it was a standing 10 count. They had beat each other up to the point. It was amazing. And that's what I said. Like, it was a different kind of intensity. And again, just being able to work with those people and to be able to feed off that crowd, it was, like I said, I'm very fortunate that I get to work certain matches with certain companies and have those experiences. And I'm really looking for next month is going to be, for me, it's going to be busy.
There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Saturday. That's going to be fun. It is what it is. I think the cat's out of the bag now that in front of and behind the curtain. It's hard to top an experience at Warrior. But I'm just really excited to see where it is we go this year. Because for the last 2-3 years we've been in existence, it's always just been in Marian Catholic High School, which is always going to be home to us. That is our Madison Square Garden. That is our building. But that doesn't mean that we cannot go check out other places too and perform in front of other crowds that may not be able to get to us just because of geographical setup. Not everybody can always afford to fly here, there, and yonder for wrestling. I wish we all could. I'd do it if I could, but budget is a budget, but yeah. I'm excited to see what comes of everything. I'm really, really looking forward to May in particular. I've heard a rumor of where we're going, and that'll be fun. So I'm excited just to kind of sit back and see what 2022 has to offer. And man, I'll tell you what, outside of that, I've just been busy, man.
Yeah. I remember hearing some of the discussions of the potential places, and I was like, oh boy. So that's going to be exciting for you guys. Again, it's going to keep you busy, like the travel, the excitement, the hype, man. You guys, like I said, you guys are bringing it, and it made a believer out of me. Being there and seeing the machine at work, and it was, again, I've worked with a lot of companies, and just on the level of the care given to the talent and the professionalism and how things were run, I was like, man, this was awesome. It was. I can't wait to see what you guys do, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to come back.
We'll have to make that happen. But moving past the Saturday, we also had Sunday. So you kind of tiptoed around the last part of my original questioning. So how goes the zoning and planning for the very first Shoops in the greater Nashville area?
Ew, man, if I could get Shoops and Portillo's down here, man, I'd be a very happy camper. So I kind of went off on my own little adventure before the show Saturday, obviously. And I decided, I was like, well, I was hungry. And after the area that I was in, I was like, you know what? Jeremy said something about Shoops. Let me give this place a shot. And I was like, woo. It was
for those of you that are unfamiliar with Shoops. I'm looking around trying to find, something that would be close to, I'm not seeing anything, so I'll just have to use description here. But like a Shoops burger, if you turn it on its side, it's about yay around. It is about the width of my face. You're probably talking a good 6.5 inches, but then it's so it's about like that. It's a monster burger. It's a grease burger, gives Steak and Shake growth hormones and a little bit more grease. It's amazing.
The burger that you got on Sunday,
I was flexing a little bit, I admit it.
Could not believe you finished that thing. It was massive. And that big thing of chili cheese fries, man. Yeah, I took pictures. I took pictures to show, like, hey guys, this is what we're missing out down here. We don't have that.
You didn't even have their shake, bro. Like, they have a good shake too. I would not put them on the Portillo's level, but they got a good shake too. They're an old timey, kind of got a 50s diner feel to it. But if you're ever up in the northwest portion of Indiana, look for a Shoops nearby. You will you'll thank us for it later. Your arteries will not.
Can confirm.
But if a heart attack and calories are not a concern to you, go check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I don't even think we have, there's no approximation down here. We don't have anything like that. We don't have anything like the Portellos. So I got to try to get booked up that way a lot more. So that way I can get my fix on those things.
Get you a fix.
Yeah, I am disappointed I didn't get Portillo's this go around, but Shoop's was that was a pretty solid substitute for me.
I mean, the problem with Portillo's is it's so damn busy. That's the
yeah,
problem.
It was busy, but
so doing it after the show, doing it before the show, you're really cutting yourself for time.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because if you're having a product that's that good, yeah, people, it's going to be in demand. People are going to want it. And it's not like this is like, oh, it's already made, go ahead and send it out. Like, no, they're back there preparing this steak burger
feast.
Oh God, feast is definitely the word. And yeah, I am kicking myself for not getting a shake, but on the same token, I was getting ready to be in the car for 8 hours and did not want to have that kind of issue. So yeah. So next go around, I definitely will be trying their shake. But I also want to, hopefully I'll be in Chicago at some point in the coming months. Definitely getting that chocolate cake shake from Portillo's again. I've been thinking about it. Been thinking about it a lot, man. Which I guess it's funny that, you know, I don't have all these cool things, but like I get so excited when I know I'm going to go to a certain town, because I know, oh, I get to have this now. I get to have this now. I'm working GCW in Atlanta, and that means I get to drive past Calhoun, Georgia, which has a Buc-ee's. So I get Buc-ee's on the way to Atlanta, and I get Buc-ee's on the way back from Atlanta. So I get my Buc-ee's fix next month.
We truly are living in a golden age.
We are. Tax time rolls around, I'm gonna have that check. I'm like, bring me the beaver.
Oh yeah,
bring me that beaver, sir.
I handled my taxes last night. I'm pretty happy. Got a nice return coming back. So that'll disappear into bills.
Oh, but, tell me about it.
Oh, you know, it's just part of being a responsible adult. God, I can't believe those words ever escaped my lips.
But yeah, so like I said, it's such a weird, like I said, a weird thing that, you know, of course you got all the guys that are up northeast and they absolutely love like Wawa and Sheets and places that are up that way. You get down south, you've got, you know, like I said, now we're getting Buc-ee's, we're getting Whataburgers, and like all these like regional specific places are starting to grow. But like I said, that's one of my, we've talked about, that's the exciting thing about going to a town. It's like, oh, I get to have this because it's on the way, and I don't ever get to have that at home. So
speaking of things growing and all that stuff, there's things dying too. Did you see that TGI Fridays is shutting down like 3,000 locations or something across the country? The one around the porch of my house is done.
I guess they just didn't have enough flair.
I guess they found out there was more days to the week than just Friday.
You know, the last couple times I've been to TGI Fridays, it was kind of like
I like the endless apps.
Yeah,
they had a good cheese stick.
Yeah, I was gonna say their cheese sticks were pretty stellar, but just the last couple times I remember going there, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, alcohol for itself is great, and then the appetizers are great, but the food itself is just, you know.
I call them cookie cutters. To me, TGI Fridays is Applebee's, is Chili's, is Outback Steakhouse. You know, like they're all the same to me. So like, to me, inevitably, those things are all going to do the same thing at some point. They're going to start out, oh, it's amazing. You know, the portions are this, the price is low, that. And then, you know, portions and price start to tilt. And usually when it gets here, it's over. And all of those places are here now. And It would not
For
surprise me to see those places all eventually in the next 20 years be something we say, remember when we used to go to those?
yeah,
Wouldn't
it's
surprise
like
me. It's the mom and
we
pop
have.
places that are the best.
Well, it's like we've got Logan's Roadhouses down here. I can't remember if they're very prevalent up north, but there was Logan's Roadhouses in like every little area. Now they're getting very, very sparse.
Mm.
And again, it's one of those things like things on the menus change. They change a formula with something, and it just you lose the luster of like a place. Like I remember, God, growing up, like the Sizzler and Ponderosa Steakhouse being top tier places. I think I remember seeing a sign for a Ponderosa on my way to Indiana, but that's the first time I've seen a Ponderosa Steakhouse in like
I
15
love
years.
Ponderosa. There used to be like 12 of those things in like a 5-mile radius. Like that place used to pop me. I love Ponderosa. I will live and die. Ponderosa will always be the best cheap buffet.
It was. My dad, God, I remember my dad always loving it when I was a kid. And for, yeah, it was probably about 13 years ago. There was one on the outskirts of an area not far from Nashville. And it went the way of the dinosaur at some point. I just remember going to the town for a wrestling event a couple years later. I was like, oh man, there was a Ponderosa here, and it was gone. And I was like, oh man, it's. I guess it just kind of it's the ebbs and flows of like chain restaurants. Like there'll be a boom for them for a while, and then I guess with the things that are going on right now with like COVID causing a lot of places to lose capacity, I think that was really the death knell for some of the chain restaurants. Some of them are still kicking though.
Yeah, like I love a buffet because I like selection, man. I don't like spending $20 on, a steak and fries. I'll spend $20 on, I'll try some steak, I'll try some chicken, I'll try the pork, I'll try the mashed potatoes, I'll try the
okay.
I'll try the, I like variety, which is why I love the buffets at the casinos.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on Golden Corral?
The McDonald's of buffets. It's a little overrated, but everybody's heard of it. Everybody goes to it because everybody's heard of it. Probably not the best buffet you'll ever go to. If it is, you're doing something wrong. Like I said, I much prefer casino buffets because not only is it much better food, if you do it right, you know that you're already ahead of the casino before you ever play a hand of blackjack. And if you do it right, you never lose.
We had this talk because I'd never been to a casino, and that was the first thing that you put over is like, look, so long as it's got a good buffet, doesn't matter what's going on. And you had a really good point because I'm like, well, if I'm paying this much for the buffet, but it's like all I can eat prime rib. Yeah, I'm
that adds up, brother. If you look at the price of prime rib right now at your local market, 2 of those bad boys, and you're already ahead of the game.
I can confirm because I did that at a very bougie restaurant in Philadelphia a couple months ago, or a month ago, 2 months ago. And it was like a very all-you-can-eat kind of breakfast deal. And it was myself, Shiny Shoes, and No Guff. And no Guff, Adam Galt.
I do love me some Galt.
He was in Philly, and I told him where we were going to go. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be great." And literally, like, I'm going back. Like, you get more prime rib? Like, yeah. Sitting there, just chewing it up. I was like, "Yep, that's what I'm going to get." So,
oh yeah.
Which speaking of Shiny Shoes, worked with him this weekend, and we had Cracker Barrel this morning before we both headed out of Huntsville.
Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel. Anyway, oh man, I could gab about food all day, but I don't have all day to gab about food. But I think what's up?
One other thing, I do got to brag. That was some stellar lasagna.
Well, I can't really take credit for that lasagna. That was Allison's. lasagna. It was Allison's version of my lasagna, so it's her own thing. So all credit goes to her. She put it together, she cooked it. All I did was cook the garlic bread, really. That's all I did.
Oh, that garlic bread.
Yeah.
God, I think, man, it was, because you were like, hey, do you like garlic bread? I'm like, is the Pope shit in the woods?
Well, I mean, look, man, it's the 21st century. Everybody and their mother has an allergy to something. I'm sure before it's all said and done, somebody will say, oh, I can't do that. I am legitimately allergic to fun. So like, you have to ask these questions.
Yeah.
It's just where we're at as a society, as a people. So yeah, I'm going to ask if you like garlic bread, you know?
Yeah. I think I was trying to eat my weight in the garlic bread.
That's easy to do,
it's
man.
like it is. Get a good little scoop of the lasagna, a little bite of the garlic bread, boom, 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 boom. Or you're just we were all sitting there. I was like, oh, here's another piece of garlic bread. Just gonna keep eating.
Yeah, I remember the food coma. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, God. We're trying to watch that movie and we're just like,
oh yeah, that was the first time you'd ever seen Wolf of Wall Street. I passed out, but I was also very drunk.
Alcohol was, whoo. Yeah, I caught. I was like, all right.
Allison told you that Sailor Jerry's was not to be trifled with.
Shit, that one hit me hard.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm putting that on the list.
Oh like, yeah, baby. That's
gonna be that's the purchase for the next Ghostbuster party. So we're just gonna get completely.
You'll be talking to spirits after a couple of shots of that. You trust me?
Oh yeah. It was, like I said, it was a great weekend. I can't wait to do that again.
Well, we'll have to do it again sometime. But yep, I think now is probably a good point as any to call it a night here on Pop Goes the Zebra. Join us next week where we will be discussing politics and religion. I'm just kidding. Put the pitchforks down. But as always, Jesse, I believe you have some words of wisdom.
Oh yeah, especially for you getting ready to go into a very, very busy weekend. Just remember, you do not add to the population. You'll probably subtract from the population, I feel. Get that temper.
I mean, I'll smack a motherfucker. I don't care. Just come at me right, or I'm gonna come at you.
And do not be the reason why a strongly worded email about safety is typed up on Monday. Strongly worded.
Or sportsmanship. Oh, that is literally an inside reference just to myself, because what you said just triggered my Dilgara button. So with that being said, this is the crew of Pop Goes the Zebra, wishing everyone on earth a good night, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody.